Hi there. How are you all doing? I am not going to be here. I'm not going to be here for just a minute. Promise. Cub Scout honor. I'm not going to be here very long. Okay, so obviously you know that the defense and the prosecution have done their closing arguments. I'm a little unclear if they have actually if they're done now and now we're waiting on jury instruction, or if that prosecutors, I think they have a rebuttal. I think they're going to come back after lunch and they're going to respond to the defense's closing. I'm beginning to see people coming in now. So I'm at my work computer. So when I'm in my office, I'm looking at screens. So my camera's right here, but I've got a screen over here, which is my personal computer. And then I have a screen over here, which is my work related computer. And so it looks weird. So sorry about that. So I can't really see what y'all are saying. I can see you in my peripheral. So welcome everybody. Thank y'all for popping in for a moment. Wood is hammering it home. Thank you. Thank you, Attorney Wood, Mr. Super Lawyer Esquire. We need you to hammer it home. Hey, critters, welcome. Hey, Golly. Oh, no, Gailster, Gailster. I'm having a hard time reading. Okay. Moira, welcome, Moira. Hi, Diane. Hey, Kathy R. Justice Jane. Hi, everybody. Okay, so here's what I wanted to say. I am putting together live on Melanie Pulowski. I think Melanie Pulowski has some trouble. I think there is a train running down a railroad that ends right at the jail door. So Melanie Pulowski, I predict that you're in trouble. You're next. Once they finish up with Chad and all of this circus moves from Idaho to Arizona, watch out, Melanie, because you're next after Chad. So I do think that we do have some people that are on the peripheral that we've talked about. Maybe it's Melanie Pulowski, maybe it's Melanie Gibb, Warwick, maybe it's Jason Mao, who knows? But I do think some comments that had been made about things like known and unknown conspirators. That's a direct quote. Known and unknown co-conspirators. So they're not done. This isn't finished. And you've got to think about the breadth of this crime scene. Same thing with the whole Warren Jeffs thing. I had been down this Warren Jeffs FLDS rabbit hole. It's taken over. I know more about FLDS than I ever believed I would ever know or wanted to know. But because I could see such similarities with Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow, we got to do something, y'all. This is dangerous business, and it's not just Chad and Lori. It's not just FLDS out in Arizona or Texas. There are a lot of these offshoots, and they're doing terrible things in the name of God, and little kids are being harmed, maybe not killed, but harmed, and women are being held as prisoners and treated like slavery, and it's all in the name of God. It's horrible. It's terrible. So I think that the initial push on this thing was, well, we got to get them for the deaths of the children. That's the main thing, because that's how this whole thing captured the heart of a nation. In fact, the heart of the entire world. I mean, we got people in England and Scotland and all over that have followed this case and have, fallen in love with JJ and Tylee and fighting for justice for them. It was also, I think, for me, I think it was the easiest case in terms of a nearly guaranteed outcome. Because there's just no way, y'all know this. There is no way that your babies go missing and you don't ever text anyone. You don't ever text someone and say, hey, have you seen my child? You don't get on the phone and call parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and neighborhood friends and say, hey, any chance you've seen my kid? Or to contact your child's friends or parents and say, hey, I've been looking for my child for however long. Where are they? Have they ever talked about where they might go? Was Tylee secretly talking to a man maybe online? And maybe he was a bad guy and got her. You didn't see any of that. None of that was presented in this trial that would suggest that Lori was disturbed. In fact, she just seemed to get on an airplane and fly to Hawaii anytime she wanted. So it was very strange. No, she's Bill. I think there's little doubt about, the guilty plea for the kids. Or I'm sorry, guilty verdict for the kids. Am I a little uncomfortable, or I guess I should say a little worried about Tammy? Maybe a little bit, but still, she bought the wedding rings. She bought the wedding rings and she bought her wedding dress while everybody's still alive. Well, Tammy is still alive and Chad's still married. And Chad's telling Serena, keep her happy because I can't be with her yet. And I did hear some people talking and they were saying that they were a little bit worried about, will we ever be able to get a guilty verdict on Chad for Tammy's death? Oh, it's going to be so hard to get a guilty verdict for Chad, where Tammy is concerned. And I just said, what? Why do you think it's going to be difficult? He's running around telling everyone he knows, including neighbors, that his wife's going to die. No one in the year 2023, or when all this happened, 2019, 2020, nobody believes that people can just sit around and portend the future. We don't have these, crazy special abilities to see the future. And, it's just goofy. It's good. Chad Daybell is literally the goofiest human being I've ever seen evidence of in my life. He's a goofball. The very fact that he would name his member the Storm, it's just so cringe. I felt so bad for the FBI agent that had to say what the Storm was. I felt really bad for him. But it's so juvenile, it's so childish, right? And so, no, I think of all of these convictions, number one, the kids, where Lori is concerned, her behavior after the fact. Not to mention the comments made back and forth about getting the obstacles out of the way. That wasn't very difficult to figure out who they were talking about. And they were obviously talking about people when they were talking about the obstacles, or the people that were, possessed. So that's not a hard sell. But with Chad, he told people she was going to die, and then she magically died. And how many people did she tell, or did he tell, that she was going to die? And here's an instructive moment. If you have a friend of yours or a family member or a church friend or something like that, and they tell you that they can see the future, I'm not making fun of spiritual things and religion. I'm making fun of the fact that people can take things so literally. Oh, I can see the future. My veil I have a slight tear in my veil. And I know exactly when my wife will be dying. and I'm going to go and increase her life insurance policy before she dies. That's a motive right there. When you've got the woman that you married 2 weeks after your beloved bride, the beloved mother of your children, dies, 2 weeks later, you're marrying a woman who purchased wedding rings that you're now wearing, wedding rings and a wedding dress before the mother of your children is dead. So I wouldn't be too nervous. I was actually more nervous about Letitia Stout in the Gannon Stout murder. I was fearful that there might be a person or two on the jury whose beloved family member had dealt with psychosis or some other, significant mental health problem, and that they might have said, I know mental illness. I know how horrible it can be. She needs treatment, not punishment. I was really worried about that potential scenario. But in this case, and Lori Vallow is reportedly quite angry at her defense attorneys. She was seen lashing out verbally at Archibald. So after they finished and they were, they went on their break and everything, she's yelling at them. She's very angry. And a couple of people that were in the courtroom said they could see her while he was doing closing remarks. She was seething, that it was all over her face, that they said that was, she said that was the first time that she had really been able to see a notable emotion on Lori's face and identify the emotion. Lori's pissed. What's she mad about? I believe she's angry that they went after Chad. I believe she's angry that they laid all of the responsibility was laid at Chad's feet. And that before, Lori got, storm-induced insanity, that before that happened, that she was a loving, great mom, and then when Chad came along with, the storm blessed by God, that she was a changed woman and it made her go. So she didn't like that. She didn't like that she was not treated as a goddess. She was not treated like a powerful woman making decisions that she was happy with or that were ordained by God. She got really angry, in my opinion. I think she got really angry that her own defense attorneys turned her into a desperate, lonely, middle-aged woman. That's what pissed her off. I think she has really enjoyed being this character that was larger than life, ordained by God, queen of the 144,000, the goddess, the priestess of, the Church of the Firstborn. I think she was loving that. I think she would have happily gone to her death being queen of the 144,000. And that what it was that she was so desperately trying to escape was the fact that she was an ordinary, aging, midlife crisis, prior beauty queen. That's what I think happened. She saw her beauty fading and she lost her identity. And Chad gave it back to her. What did she say? With the blessings of Chad and the priesthood and the Church of the Firstborn, that her body was going to begin aging backward and she would even start having her period. And wasn't it so great? Her period was so much heavier than like it used to be when she was young. That was the whole driving force. Ladies, time marches on, marches right across our faces. And you know what? We're better when we age. Those wrinkles, that's wisdom. That shows that you're tough and you're strong and you've been tested by life and you have come out the victor. So never, ever, ever feel bad about aging. Let Lori Vallow be a serious, what do we call it? Cautionary tale that we feel bad about the fact that our bodies are aging. It can make you, losing your identity can make you make foolish choices and decisions. Be proud of who you are and wear your age like a badge of honor. You're the best of the best.